Welcome, everyone. This is Bonnie Groessl, your host here at The Holistic Entrepreneur. Now, today is our monthly group angel reading, and there's so much going on in the world. My heart goes out to all those people suffering. I mean, we've been dealing with the coronavirus and all that's gone on with that. And now, to top it off, in the United States, a man was murdered by the hands of the police, George Floyd. And it's been over 50 years since we had civil rights issues and all kinds of riots in the streets and the unrest. 50 years later, we're back here again. And it's sad. It's sad to me that people of color have to live like this. And so my heart goes out to all of you, and to those who are still struggling with the coronavirus and whether it's health issues or unemployment issues or being able to put food on the table. I mean, thank you to all the people who are helping, but I sincerely send as much love and good energy as I can to all those who are struggling for whatever reason. And so today's angel reading is really all about that. I have no idea what these cards will be. I never do before we do the reading, but I always set the intention and I meditate a little bit, say a little prayer about I want to really deliver the best messages for whatever's going on. And if this resonates with you today, great. If you're listening to this, when it's first recorded in this is June now, June of 2020. Or if you're listening 2 years from now, it doesn't really make a difference because really time is not linear. It's kind of all happening at once. And so this angel reading is for everyone, but especially for those who are struggling, whether it's civil rights type of issues, racism issues, loss of a loved one because of that, or loss of a loved one or finances or whatever because of COVID-19. Or, I mean, and there are all kinds of things going on in the world. I don't mean to be just focusing on the United States, but this is really, really unsettling to me. And I'm hoping that the angels can give us some guidance today. So with that, I thank you all for being here. Now, I want to remind you that the information shared here is educational, inspirational, and motivational in nature, but it's never a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. So if you need to see somebody, please do. Please take care of yourself. So with that said, let's get on with our angel reading. So the first card that comes to us, the decks that I use today are St. Michael, Healing with the Angels, Daily Guidance, and then the first Healing with the Angels is Raphael's deck, which is really about healing. The last deck is sort of an overall deck that's also called Healing with the Angels. But the first deck we are working with is St. Michael. And I think we all need a little extra sense of security, safety, protection in this day and age. And the first card that comes to us was actually a jumping card. So this one really wanted to be seen. And I love this. Pay attention to your dreams. And again, as always, I'll put an image with all of the cards in the image for you so that you can make it bigger if you want and read what's on the card. What this says to me is paying attention to your dreams, not only when you're sleeping, not I don't think it's talking about those kinds of dreams. I think the message here is to dream, pretend as if, daydream about what you want the world to be like, a safe place where health is the norm and we don't have to worry about viruses or disease or infirmity. A world where everyone gets along, everyone is seen as an equal, and there are no divisions. There is no hatred. It's just love. It's just love and sharing and caring about one another. That's the kind of world that I dream about. No time for wars or issues, of even, arguments, that everyone just plays nice in the sandbox. Everyone gets along. Everyone loves one another. We're all the same. In fact, I mean, everything is energy. Even the chair that I'm sitting on, the desk that I'm speaking from, the rocks out in outside. Everything is energy. Everything is living, if you believe in that. And to me, when I hold this card, and when I do these angel readings, and I've said this before, I hold the card and I feel what the angels are trying to say to us. I look at the image and I just sort of talk. It just comes out. I don't know what I'm going to say. But to me, this card means not only to, dreaming when you're asleep, but more importantly, to pretend, to daydream, to imagine life the way you want it to be, the world to be the way you want it to be. I think that's a wonderful message to start with our reading today. And that card was just a jumping card. I didn't choose it. It just popped out. The next card that comes to us is innocence. And what this reminds me of is that there is innocence in the world. It's not all hate and anger and violence, that there is innocence. And to remember that there is kindness. There are people who are kind. There are way more people who are kind and innocent and loving than what we see on TV, because they show the stuff that they have to report on because it's happening, but it's just a snapshot of what the entire world is like, what the entire country is like here in the US. Remember that innocence. Hang on to that innocence in yourself. That's the other message that I get from this card, is to not succumb to the hatred, the violence, the division within our countries, within the world, to hold on to your innocence. You were born with it. Somewhere along the way, sometimes people lose it, or lose it for a short time. Don't let that be you. And oh, I love this. The next card that comes to us, because there was 3 with this card, with this deck, so there's a jumping card, self-respect. What this says to me is that, I love how these cards just tell a story. It happens every time. If you respect yourself enough, if you love yourself enough, and especially if you love other people, dealing with the whole, what happened to George Floyd and all of that, there was no respect there. We are meant to respect ourselves and one another. We're meant to love ourselves and one another. And I think this is a really good reminder that the angels really want us to get this message today, because all of these cards, really, really tell a story. Now, the next deck is the Raphael deck, which is a healing with the angels, but it's Raphael's deck. And this one says, I love this. Leave a stressful situation behind. We've been a little stressed lately, haven't we? Oh my goodness. And then there was the floods because of the dams broke in Michigan. I mean, there's so much stress in the entire world, especially in the United States, it seems, these days. It's time to just say, okay, it is what it is. Don't make it worse. Don't, contribute to the riots or whatever. It's fine, I think, to protest, as long as you don't destroy things or hurt people. But maybe it's time to just take a break. Do a pattern interrupt. Take a break from that stressful situation, whatever it is that you're struggling with. I know I've had to take a break from TV, from the news. I don't watch that much TV anyway, but I look at stuff on my tablet. And I only allow myself a little bit of time in the morning. I don't really do it at the end of the day, because that's not a good thing. I don't want to go to bed with those thoughts and all that information in my mind. So maybe this is a reminder for all of us to leave this stressful situation, however you see it, whatever the stressful situation, the most stressful situation is for you right now, just leave it behind. put it on a shelf for a while. Do something else. Distraction, diversion is a wonderful tool. Maybe you need to distract yourself. Later today, my family is coming to visit. My granddaughter is 2 years old, and we're going to do a little birthday party for her. So that'll be a wonderful distraction for me from all the things that are going on. But it's a good reminder for all of us. And then the next card that comes to us is stretch. And again, this is about healing. So you leave that stressful situation behind, or at least put it on the shelf for a while, and then stretch yourself to think outside the box, to imagine life is the way you want it to be. Not that it will be, but that it is. Stretch yourself to do something different, to to reach out in loving support of someone that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily do. Stretch yourself to imagine, stretch yourself to give. I think stretching yourself goes along with, leaving that stressful situation behind, putting it on a shelf. Then what are you going to do, right? Then I think it's time to stretch yourself. The next deck that we drew is daily guidance with the angels, because I think we all need some daily guidance. And this is so profound. Everything fits together in a story. It doesn't matter what cards are drawn, what decks are used, what ones jump out. It's always a story. And the first card that comes to us is heart chakra. And again, to me, this is a reminder that all of these things, all of the things that are going on, whether it's, with the whole COVID thing, the coronavirus thing, there are some people who are mask shaming for people wearing a mask or not wearing a mask, because people are like, for some reason, thinking it's a political statement or something like that, rather than being cognizant of people's safety and protecting other people from themselves. That's why you wear a mask. But if we go back to the heart, none of that should be happening, right? It should just be love, sending love out, doing things to help one another, being the community that really we are. I think we've lost that sense of community in some ways, or there wouldn't be all this unrest going on. And then the next one is change in direction. So to me, this card talks about a change in direction. It's time to, if you watch the news too much, change the direction. Don't watch the news so much. If you're a person who feels uncomfortable when people do or don't wear a mask, change direction. Don't let it bother you. Everyone is entitled to their choice in doing that or not. And, mask shaming stuff has to end. And then changing a direction also means, I've been trying in the US for over 50 years, way over 50 years, and it's not any better. It just doesn't seem that it's any better. And this is a message that it's time. It's time to make a change, a real change, not just, giving something lip service and everything is really the same underneath. It's time for a change. And then the last deck is my favorite deck because it was the first one. And there's only one word or two sometimes on these cards. And I love this because this is Healing with the Angels. Power. This is a reminder that we all have the power to make a choice, to do or to not do something, to say or to not say something, to watch the news or not watch the news, to be kind or not be kind, to love or to hate. I think there's more power in love. It's a choice. We all have the power. And I think if we band together, there's all kinds of studies. Heart Math Institute does studies on this in terms of banding good energy together through their Heart Math Institute. I know I'm on their list, and they do things every now and then where we all band together and send good energy to a particular cause. There's power in that. And I think that's what we need to use right now to heal the world. The world, especially in the US right now, needs healing. We need to be healed. And then the last card that comes to us is manifestation. And I think this is so fitting, because if we do all these things, and we'll review them in just a sec, we do all these things, we can manifest what we started out with, right? Dreaming, imagining, pretending as if the world is as we want it. If we do all these things, it will manifest into what we want. I'm just blown away by these angel cards and the readings that come out. And I'm so honored that I can share this with you. So let's review this. We started with pay attention to your dreams, and we kind of ended with that too. Daydream, pretend as if, imagine that life is the way you want it to be, whatever your situation is. And then remember that there is innocence. There's innocence in the world. There's goodness in the world. There's kind people in the world. Hold on to your innocence and continue to be kind. If you're listening to this podcast, I would imagine you're in the group of people that's loving and generous and kind and giving, and not in the hateful side, and not in the, mask shaming or anything like that. But if there are people who are, know that there's a piece of them that's still innocent, and, cut them a little slack maybe. Self-respect, respect yourself enough, and automatically you'll respect other people. I think people who don't respect other people, people who need to be bullies or whatever, have no self-respect of their own. They have no self-esteem, and that's why they need to be the bull in the china shop. And then leave the stressful situation behind. At least put it on the shelf for a while. You need to take a break. I know I needed to take a break. And, pattern interrupt, doing something fun, going outside. I mean, if it's nice where you are, getting outside, putting your feet in the earth, not having shoes on, do some earthing time and get that energy from Mother Earth and soak up that love. Take a break from all that's going on, and then stretch yourself. Stretch yourself to be even better than you are already. Stretch yourself to see the goodness, see the innocence in other people, even though it's really hard sometimes. And then it all comes down to loving, right? It's that heart chakra. It's what makes us who we are. Come from that loving place. And if you come from that loving place and you do all these things, there will be a change in direction. Things are going to change. Finally, things are going to change. Because we all have the power to do that. All of us do. Don't let the power of hatred and divisiveness and racism and all of that be stronger than the power of love. That's the most powerful thing in the world, in the universe, is love. If all of those things happen, and you really kind of listen to the angel messages today, you will help to manifest what you've been dreaming about. A world where there is no illness, no sickness, a world where there is no hate, a world where there is only love. Thank you for letting me share this angel reading with you today. It's been a difficult time for so many people. So until next time, blessings. And I was going to announce a change that I was doing with the Holistic Entrepreneur, but I decided not to today because this takes precedence. So I hope you have a good week. I hope the messages help you in some way. Blessings, everyone.